Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is January 29th, and I am on the very bottom of Grandeur Peak. Can't really see the top from here, but I'm really struggling to come up with things to talk about still. Some of our video ideas I had just didn't really work out, at least for now. So here I am, hopefully going to find some things to talk about. It's been a while since I've been here. Now here, at least in terms of native plants, this area is mostly dominated by big sagebrush. You can see a lot of, as well as some Ericameria nauseosa, the rubber rabbit brush. Here's some of the ladder plant I was talking about, or just mentioned. It's got the highly identifiable sort of white matted hairs that cover the branches and make them just look like it's part of the bark, but it's actually the hairs covering the branches, as well as some sagebrush right here. That's a little dark. And it's so bright, I had to change my ISO to get the Ericameria nauseosa to look right. But otherwise, there's a lot of non-native plants here. It looks like there's a lot of cheatgrass, Bromus tectorum, all about. Not to mention probably a bunch of other unidentifiable grasses. Really not a very interesting habitat. So this is probably going to be a boring video for you guys. I'm just really trying to make sure I can keep up my practice and not lose my touch at all. And I could talk a little bit about the general situation here as of late, because that's not been so great. It's finally gotten cold here. Like, it doesn't feel super warm anymore, which, I mean, I never really liked the cold that much, but it had been warm so long this last December that it's almost kind of nice for it to be cold. I think it's only in the 40s today, so not really that cold, but you guys know what I mean. But it's really not snowed very much. This snow probably fell like over 10 days ago, actually. It's just that it hasn't even had a chance to melt because it's been in the shade of this rabbit brush here. Look, and it's so warm, it looks like it's actually starting to grow leaves already. They may have been left over from last year, it's hard to tell. But yeah, maybe it's not fresh growth. Sorry for the cut there. Another thing I'm not liking about this trail right now is that there's a lot of people here, and I don't like filming around people, even though in the past no one really cares, actually, from my experience. But anyways, a classic Great Basin shrub we can find here as well. This is Persia tridentata, from the rose family. Very important plant to know if you're interested in botany. You can usually identify around this time of year. I believe they tend to lose their leaves in winter. They normally have bigger leaves, but I actually can't remember if it's deciduous or not. I mean, this one might just be growing leaves because it's been so warm this December, but I think they normally shed them and grow them back later. But they're still a very hardy plant that can I'm sure do photosynthesis in pretty harsh cold conditions. It just still prefers to lose them. I think it's Persia Stansburyana, but tends to be evergreen. I don't know for sure. And of course, we got a dreaded myrtle spurge, the Euphorbia myrsinites. I know there's a terrible myrtle spurge infestation that has had some work done on in the past to control it, so we'll see how bad it is. And there's also an iris infestation. So the further I go along, we'll see how that looks like. So let's just carry on. Okay, so as far as myrtle spurge control goes, I'm seeing a few things here, because this is definitely a place where I knew there was a bit of an infestation. There's a lot of dead plants. Now, they could just be completely dead, or they could have been sprayed, or could have just died natural causes, because they do typically tend to be evergreen through the winter. Looks like there's a lot of pulling as well, which is always good. There is some bad myrtle spurge on the side of the mountain, though it might be hard to see. But that green stuff, I believe, is myrtle spurge, which is unfortunate, but it seems like it's probably about as thick as it used to be, but it seems like some control efforts have been successful, which is good to see. I'm not seeing any of the irises yet, which is, I sort of maybe half expected that, because even though they do produce fleshy green leaves, I figured there's probably a good chance they still die back at the end of the year anyways. So if I came back here in spring, there might be iris bulbs and leaves everywhere. Oh, look at that. That's sort of the iris debris I was talking about. Iris detritus. Because I'm pretty sure it's escaped from this person's yard or someone's yard around here and just went hog wild around here. But I'm not seeing it up here that high, which is great. I haven't seen any of those leaves. So it might be that they're either removed or were never actually growing here in the first place. I'm going to have to check my old video, but this is encouraging to see this with the myrtle spurge, even though it's still a bad infestation up there. Hopefully that can be got eventually, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't count on it, but you never know. Now, oh, how to get on this rock. Alright, this might be the end of a line this way for me, but there's a few other directions I can go. I guess I can go up this way a little bit further. Recently got some hiking pants. Like, I don't think I ever actually had real hiking pants before now. So anytime I was basically making videos, I was probably hiking in a pair of shorts, even if it was cold or brushy conditions, with a few exceptions. But yeah, I just sort of realized I might be really torturing myself more than I need to with all my outdoor activities. So I got some hiking pants. It's in Patagonia. Yeah, pretty boring channel news, but whatever. Trying to refrain from spending too much on hiking stuff because I do want to go to Australia, but some of the stuff might actually be very useful there anyways. See that nice pollution layer? Oh, very good. Look at that. Look at that brown layer of probably, is it nitrous oxide or nitrogen dioxide or something, whatever pollutant cars tend to make around here. It looks brownish. I should know the exact name. The air here really sucks sometimes in the winter. If you guys don't live here, you might have known that, but it's awful. It's now increasingly more frequently air is bad in the summer. It's because these mountains trap the air and create a really bad inversion layer. No fun. Not a fan of that. Huh. Okay, this might be a way the trail exits the neighborhood, or exits into the neighborhood. Yeah, I was right. This is how the trail exits or goes towards the neighborhood. So I think I'll walk down there and then hike back up and see if there's anything else I want to talk about. It's not going to be a short video, but you know, I feel like I've been making videos that are too long for the most part. Well, not too long, but I have an excess of very long videos lately. So, I don't know, whatever. I hope you guys will watch it anyways. Another thing I'm not a very big fan of is all this sort of new housing development that's going up the mountain. Yes, I know people need to live somewhere, but there's a lot of land in the city that could be flipped up instead, in my opinion. So once you lose land like that, you know, you almost never get it back. It's pretty rare for get back developed land like this. It's like city's already really sprawled out as is. Again, obviously a lot of people want to live here. I think it's important for them to get housing, but I wish more of it was just being built within the city, unlike land being redeveloped. Which I know is happening still, but gosh, I really like these mountains. And animals rely on this habitat. Okay, I really think I gotta get going now. If I stay here any longer, I'm just gonna start talking about random nonsense like, I don't know, how I finished watching The Sopranos for the first time last night, or how I just want to move to Australia, like, again, or a bunch of other stuff that is just gonna make the video worse. So, as of now, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Hopefully I can maybe go someplace a little more interesting than these mountains in the winter, like a salt flat or a riparian area, and maybe talk about some stuff, or a park, I don't know, but again, there's probably not going to be that many great videos for at least another month. Hopefully when I go to Death Valley and the Mojave Desert, I can get some more great videos, but until then, please just stick with me. Things are going to look up soon for this channel.